He said he's going to take over the Gaza Strip. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip and we'll do a good job with it too, President Trump says, suggesting plans to rebuild the area. Trump repeats his earlier suggestion that Palestinians leave Gaza to go to neighboring countries. Egypt and Jordan have outright rejected this previously. Once again, going back to the same dynamic that I explained prior, which is they're taking a more hands-on approach to the colonialism. They're taking a more hands-on approach to the violence, and I think this is precisely in that same vein.
First of all, President Trump, did you hear from Prime Minister Netanyahu at your meeting guarantees that ceasefire will hold, including phase 2? And Prime Minister Netanyahu referred to you. Why are you refusing to set up a national commission to investigate failures of the process?
Well, I can't tell you whether or not the ceasefire will hold. We've done, I think, a very masterful job. We weren't helped very much by the Biden administration, I can tell you that. But we've gotten quite a few hostages out. We're going to get more out. But we're dealing with very complex people.
Bro, ask the guy next to you.
We want to have more come out.
Ask the guy next to you. He's the one who's going to fuck it up. What do you mean? Oh, I can't tell you with confidence if the ceasefire will hold.
But they're going to get better.
You're next to the guy.
And they're going to have a good life.
What do you mean?
And we hope to get
He's
as
right
many
there.
as
Does
possible
nobody
out.
see
Whether
him?
or not it holds, I don't know.
He's
We
on
hope it
screen.
holds.
You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there? Redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace?
How can you stay sane while listening to this?
How important that land is to you and your citizens?
I don't know. I just expect the worst from the start.
Space is inherited by the Palestinians.
It allows me to be more
I do see a long-term
composed.
ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent in a really magnificent area that nobody would know. Nobody can look because all they see is death and destruction and rubble and demolished buildings falling all over. It's just a terrible sight. I've studied it. I've studied this.
Who did it?
Very closely over a lot of months, and I've seen it from every different angle. And it's a very, very dangerous place to be, and it's only going to get worse. And I think this is an idea that's gotten tremendous, and I'm talking about from the highest level of leadership, gotten tremendous praise. And if the United States can help to bring stability and peace in the Middle East, we'll do that. Bibi?
I mentioned again tonight our 3 goals. And the third goal is to make sure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again. President Trump is taking it to a much higher level. He sees a different future for that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials and so many tribulations. He has a different idea. And I think it's worth paying attention to this. We're talking about it. He's exploring it with his people, with his staff. I think it's something that could change history. And it's worthwhile really pursuing this avenue.
America first out the window? Chatter. There was never an America first principle. What do you mean? Even the terrorists themselves don't actually yield America first principles at all. America first is just pure marketing so that you can put profits first. You can put war first. You can put profiteers that want to rebuild Gaza first, and then the real estate developers that come in afterwards. It's capitalism first, always and forever.
Somewhat more violent, I will tell you that, because they would have broken their word. Mr. Witkoff and his entire group have been working 24 hours around the clock, and they want them out, and promises have been made to them, and we'll see whether or not those promises will be kept. But we want all the hostages, that's right.
How much time do you think it will take?
Mr. President, do you support Israeli sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, areas which many believe is the biblical homeland of the Jewish people?
That's a great question, man. That's totally.
Many of your representatives, you're represented very well, and people do like the idea, but we haven't taken a position on it yet. But we will be we'll be making an announcement probably on that very specific topic over the next 4 weeks. Go ahead, please.
Holy
Please.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. So you just said that you think all the Palestinians should be relocated to other countries. Does that mean that you do not support a two-state solution?
It doesn't mean anything about a two-state or one state or any other state. It means that we want to give people a chance at life. They have never had a chance at life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole for people living there. It's been horrible. Hamas has made it so bad, so dangerous, so unfair to people. And by doing what I'm recommending that we do, it's a very strong recommendation, but it is a strong recommendation. By doing that, we think we're going to bring perhaps great peace to long beyond this area. And I have to stress, this is not for Israel. This is for everybody in the Middle East, Arabs, Muslims. This is for everybody. This would be where they can partake in terms of jobs and living and all of the other benefits. And I think it's very important. It just doesn't work the other way. You know, you can't keep trying. They just has been going along for so many decades, you can't even count. You just can't keep doing. You have to learn from history. You can't keep doing the same mistake over and over again. Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure. And I think you're going to see a tremendous outflowing of support. I can tell you, I spoke to other leaders of countries in the Middle East, and they love the idea. They say it would really bring stability, and what we need is stability. Yes, sir, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Are you still committed to imposing sanctions on the ICC, despite the move being stalled in the Senate? And please, a question for the Prime Minister as well. The President has been very clear about his desire to achieve a deal with Saudi Arabia. How do you settle this if Israel is required to renew the war against Hamas in the future?
That's literally Channel 14. That's Benjamin Netanyahu's channel.
I think everybody understands that just as the President fought and defeated Al-Qaeda and ISIS, that we can't leave Hamas there because Hamas will continue the battle to destroy Israel. They'll do, you know, when in this temporary ceasefire, one of their leaders comes out, you know what he says? We're going to do October 7th again, except we'll do it bigger. So obviously, you can't talk about peace neither with Hamas or in the Middle East if this, you know, toxic, murderous organization is left standing. Any more that you could make peace in Europe after World War II if the Nazi regime was left standing and the Nazi army was left standing.
That did happen, by the way. But you guys are also closer to the Nazis in this situation. Israel is the Nazis in this equation. Make no mistake.
Do you have any plan to change Afghanistan situation? Are you able to recognize Taliban? Because I'm an Afghan journalist, Afghan suffrage woman. Any comment about Afghanistan? What's your future plan for Afghan people, especially Afghanistan?
I have a little hard time understanding you. Where are you from? Oh. Actually, it's a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying. But,
oh my
I
God.
just say this.
Oh my God.
Live in peace. Go ahead, please. Say it. Go ahead, please.
Just to follow up on what you were saying about the Gazans leaving Gaza, going to other countries. One, where exactly are you suggesting that they should go? And two, are you saying they should return after it's rebuilt? And if not, who do you envision living there?
I envision a world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world, representatives from all over the world will be there, and they'll live there. Palestinians also. Palestinians will live there. Many people will live there. But they've tried the other, and they've tried it for decades and decades and decades. It's not going to work. It didn't
Look at Netanyahu's face when Trump talks about permanent ethnic displacement. He can't even stop himself from smirking.
You know, you just can't let it keep repeating itself. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed that live there now can live in peace in a much better situation because they're living in hell. And those people will now be able to live in peace. We'll make sure that it's done world class. It'll be wonderful for the people. Palestinians mostly we're talking about. And I have a feeling that despite them saying no, I have a feeling that the king in Jordan and that the general president, but that the general in Egypt will open their hearts and will give us the kind of land that we need to get this done. And people can live in harmony and in peace. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, Jordan has already said that that's not going to happen, but it doesn't matter because Jordan is literally already a Western invention to begin with. So I don't know how much pressure they can apply in this process. But it's wonderful because this way you push the Palestinians into Egypt and Jordan, and then a decade later you can also invade Egypt and Jordan, you know, saying security threats exist. This way Israel can maintain its greater Israel project. American foreign policy only goes in one direction, chat. As I've said time and time again, it's uniparty and it only goes in one direction, and that direction is evil. What a lot of Americans, or what a lot of the people in charge right now fail to comprehend here, is that the forcible ethnic displacement of 1.8 million Palestinians in broad daylight to Egypt and Jordan will not only destabilize these countries, right? It will also create a gigantic problem in terms of instability for these nations, because every single person under the rulership of Sisi or under the rulership of the Jordanian king recognizes right from wrong and will create unimaginable chaos in the region, okay? Same with Saudi Arabia. Why do you think MBS still says, hey, I love the nukes. I love you, Donald Trump. You are my guy. Okay. I've given you billions of dollars. You're my buddy. You're my buddy in the White House. I'm happy to play ball with you. But having said that, we got to recognize Palestine. Okay. 67 boundaries. MBS has time and time again maintained the position that he thinks Palestinians are annoying. Okay. In the simplest terms, Mohammed bin Salman, the king of Saudi Arabia, crown prince of Saudi Arabia, has long maintained the position that he considers the Palestinian plight as a nuisance. But why is he still saying we have to make sure that there is some sort of recognition for Palestinian territory? It's because even in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi public is directly at odds with MBS. Okay. If it were up to MBS, he'd be like, yeah, wipe them out. I don't care. Great. Kill them all. Right. I want to be able to do more sports washing. I want to be recognized broadly. I want nukes. I want to be recognized broadly by the Western world. The problem for him, though, is that even his population in Saudi Arabia are very, very frustrated if he were to concede to Israel without any sort of recognition of a Palestinian state. USA taking over Gaza, Pog. Dude, that's awesome. I love imagining corn-fed boys from Arkansas going and dying in the Middle East at the behest of our additional state there, Israel. Our military base in the region is far too important for us. So you're just going to go die in the Middle East. Awesome, dude. Sick. Okay, good luck. You're going to get your legs blown off. You're going to get your dick blown off. You're going to come back home if you're lucky, and you'll get some of that sweet health care, okay? Lot to look forward to. Pog. Yeah, we're dying. We're dying for Israel, baby. Hell yeah. Fantastic. Man, look at Bibi smiling as he sees his domestic coalition reform comfortably after all of this. As is his political survival is secured. You, me, and so many others have been saying this would happen for more than a year, but it somehow still hits like a truck to see with my own eyes. I just pray the world doesn't look away. I don't know what the world is capable of doing if America has its heart set on permanent occupation and permanent death and destruction in the region. I truly don't know. That's the other side of this process. The only country that can save us is China, and China has its own allegiances with Israel, as I've mentioned time and time again. So I don't know. It is incredibly bleak. I'm not going to lie to you. Do you think Saudi Arabia and Sunni Arab states will cede to U.S.-Israeli demands for Palestinian displacement to refugee camps in neighboring countries? The forcible displacement of 1.8 million is genocide. There is no room for ambiguity or plausible deniability whatsoever. Is so man. Yeah, but don't you understand? He wants to build a Riviera. They're not even hiding it. Like, they're openly just stating mass ethnic displacement of 1.8 million Palestinians indigenous to the land that have already been displaced once to go to the Gaza Strip, out of the Gaza Strip. It is unambiguously ethnic cleansing.